Welcome to the Incoherent podcast. Welcome back to the Incoherent podcast. I'm here with Zach. So how you been, Zach?
Yeah, not too bad. Getting over this bloody head cold, but yeah, not too bad. Weather's starting to fine up, so
It's not too
warmer
bad.
days ahead.
It wasn't too bad of a weekend to be sick, laying in bed, heaps of sport on. I said last week that final series probably lived up to expectations from my point of view. I know the New Zealand game was in the rain, and that's probably all that was. I think it would have been a little bit more exciting otherwise, or Penrith might have ran away with it a bit further.
Yeah, give Penrith a dry track, and I think they run away with that game a bit further. I don't think the rain played that much a havoc game-wise. They probably settled down and wanted to hold onto the ball a little bit better, but yeah, I still think the quality of game it lived up to finals expectations.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The Warriors did try to get back into it because where they stopped those two 40-20s, that they're probably two big plays that really kept Penrith ahead of it. And full credit to the Warriors. They've had a really good season, and I really hope that they build off this season into something bigger and larger. It's really going really well over there, to be honest. I'd be happy as a Warriors supporter.
100%. Yeah, there's a couple of injuries we spoke about that most teams cop this year. They really hurt the Warriors, losing Metcalf leading into the final series. I think he was building into a very special halfback this season.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how he comes back from the ACL.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we do the sports wrap a little bit later. Just going through things, but what I do want to get out of the way, because I know the rule, I understand the rule, but Walsh kicked him. He didn't attack the legs. I really don't think that should have been a penalty. I'm not too upset about it.
It's not that he didn't attack the legs. It's the fact that he made contact with his kick. I know what the rule. The rule also states that you can't headbutt a bloke either, but Walsh stayed on the field after that. So
well, Smithy stayed on the field. You know, he got the same thing at the beginning of the year. So I'm not too upset about that. I am upset. Hudson Young shouldn't have been sent off. And unless you live under a rock and don't really follow footy, Hudson Young got sent off for, I don't know, stirring up the opposition and got headbutted. So he got sent off for having a place for Walsh to land his forward. But anyways, the NRL has since said, though, that penalty should have went the other way because it was a lot worse of a incident than what Hudson Young done. So I don't agree with it. But the other thing that I pointed out to you earlier, in extra time, when the Raiders scored that try, Ashley Klein awarded the try, and it is supposed to be that you have to have absolute certainty that not going to happen to be able to change your decision from the on-field referee's decision. And you could not see whether that went forward or backwards.
There was no definitive action of which direction that ball travelled, no. But it come off his hand and then made contact with Broncos player. So I do think that's where the bunkers come from.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either way. I think
if they awarded it a try, happy days, wouldn't bother me either way. Yeah, but it just...
But it comes back to that discretion with the thing with the charge down. He contacted his leg. It was minor. He was running across in front of him. He wasn't attacking his legs. He wasn't diving at his legs, which is what that rule's supposed to stop. And then you can go to that, and they've pretty much guessed whether it went forward or backwards and didn't decide to stick solid on the rule for that. It's just something that I picked up.
Both instances could have went either direction, and at the end of the day, they followed to the letter of the law with one thing, and there was that little bit of indiscretion around the other one. So, oh, well.
And for any Raiders fans that are still upset about it on a Thursday, nearly a week after, Zach is setting up a helpline because he's a Cowboys supporter and he truly believes in conspiracies and he's lived and breathed that for a long
100%.
time.
We've lived through many conspiracies over the year. I'm still dreading that 7-tackle set from Cronulla a few years back. And
So if you just dial
more,
1-800 not my fault, Zach will answer
more,
and he'll talk you through it. And
more recently, the Parramatta forward pass. I'm sure Clint Gufferson remembers that one.
I've seen through the week, I was just flicking through Facebook and a video come up, but in one of the NFL games, because they've been doing a lot at the WNBA where they've been throwing the dildos on the court. Someone
Yeah.
threw a big bright yellow dildo onto the field and they've put it up as a flag because they've got the yellow flag that they throw when they get a penalty. And I just pissed myself laughing. It was just big yellow cock flying through the air.
Well, it could have been worse. Could have landed on a helmet and they could have looked like a unicorn.
That's what I was reading the comments on Facebook going through. They're just laughing about it. And that's what someone said. They're like, that game's going to end as soon as someone throws it and it lands on a helmet and it suctions to it. It's just so
Unicorns
good.
are real.
Yeah. Just imagine that. Another thing that I noticed this week is in Saudi Arabia, they're organising a flag football tournament. And it looks like Tom Brady's going to be competing along with Gronk and a few older players and stuff like that. So I guess they're trying to pump up flag football for the Olympics because the next Olympics is in LA, and that's one of the sports that they put forward to the committee that got approved. And yeah, so it's not NFL, but it's sort of coming to the Olympics. What do you reckon?
Oh, something different, I guess. It's, yeah. They're bringing a few big names to it, so they're really trying to promote it.
If it's obviously it's been put in there. It's something for America to win. Like that's the only thing. I don't see any other country competing with it because we just don't have the knowledge of the game in that context.
Can't be too much different Oztag.
A little bit different. Unless we've got like a really good ultimate frisbee team, which is basically the same thing. So,
well,
sort of.
Yeah, a little bit different, but yeah.
When it comes to Australia, into Brisbane, surely cricket's the first one.
Yeah. I was only thinking about this in recent times, whether we can put cricket forward.
Well, cricket's the second biggest sport in the world.
Yeah. Going back to, as I was growing up, playing a bit of cricket and the old 10 over comp, because, as you know, the Olympics has got a time frame, so unless you
it'll be T20. It'll be 2020.
It'll be T20, but even those games,
can you fit it into 2 weeks though?
That's what I'm getting at. Like, how do you fit that in? Like, shorten it again and go to a 10 over competition.
What about the 100 over competition?
So, yeah, well, I've never got too much into the 100 over.
Well, it's not 100 over. 100 balls, isn't it?
The 100? Yeah. The 100, yeah.
100 deliveries.
I'm traditional cricket through and through. Love test match cricket. And we spoke about this not too long ago. And I can sit there from opening ball, day one of Boxing Day test.
Yeah.
And not leave the lounge other than to go get something to eat or go to the toilet. And just be enthralled by the game. I love test match cricket.
Yeah. It's all the drama, dramatics, the build-up, the strategies. I'm the same. I was saying to you earlier, I watched a one-day test when I was younger, Australia, India, watching Adam Gilchrist, and he just flogged 3 balls straight over the bowler's head for 6 at the end of the game. And that's what got me intrigued with cricket. I didn't know much about cricket. I probably know more. Well, I'll know more now than what I used to. But then it was all right. Yeah, T20 was just starting out after that. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's nice and quick. I don't have to sit around for days because I did not understand Test cricket. But once I started understanding Test cricket and watching a bit more of it, I fell in love with it. So Test cricket's my favourite form of it as well. I understand the need for the shorter form of the game. Big Bash is a good thing. Heaps of people go and watch it. It's a weekly thing and it's easier to... It fills that void over summer in Australia anyway. Most people watch it. But
That's right. It's a big money grab for all countries all over the world,
yeah,
and even the players, because the players get paid an absolute mozza to go and play T20 cricket
yeah,
all over the place. And the IPL, that's a big one for a lot of Australians. They head over
IPL is
there.
massive.
Yeah, give me Test match cricket. In saying that, I did love me one dayers too, but yeah, it was a different game when Test match cricket was in play. It just had a different feel about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do like it, and the Ashes are coming up this year. Coming back to Australia, and I'm looking forward to it. It gets a bit hard for someone like me that's probably not fully committed to it to watch it when it's on in England, but I still pay attention to it. It's just one of those things that's just iconic. And the thing with the rugby league Ashes is I don't think it's quite got that. It hasn't got the same
Oh,
thing around it.
no, no, it's
I understand why they're trying to do it, keep it a tradition and all of that. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing the tour thing because that's what they used to do, what used to work well. I don't know if the generation now relates to that quite as much as what they think they might. I think it's more for older people. I find people our age and younger would much rather see a competition like the Pacific Nations one, but include England. That's where it makes it hard. You've got three tier one nations that have to play each other, and you know there's a lot between the other teams. But we can talk about the tier stuff. I believe that come next year we'll be talking that they've deleted the tier stuff, and you'll have New Zealand players born in Australia, lived in Australia that'll be playing State of Origin. I think that's what I think that's the track they're going to go down. I I have my own feelings about it. I don't actually have that much of a problem with it. I know that people think if you play for New South Wales, you play for Queensland, you should play for Australia. It already doesn't happen. So
yeah. I've always said since day one that if you make yourself eligible to play State of Origin for New South Wales or Queensland, I think Australia should be your first choice. But I also understand that everyone that plays Origin decides they want to play for Australia. Australia's just going to keep winning everything
yeah,
because that's the best of the best playing Origin, and
yeah.
then they're going to back up for Australia. But so I
And
understand that they're going to.
it's not because I'm not supporting Australia either. I want to see international rugby league grow because it's the only way that you're going to grow internationally is if you have a
100%.
close competition that's going to grow a lot more than what it will if you just put all the drigs and drags into these other teams. Let these other teams build. Most of these other teams don't have that much money to be paying players to entice them to go, and that's why the whole Tonga Samoa thing's a really good thing because other players are going playing for their heritage, and it'll work out so much better. How much would New Zealand get back if some of their players that picked to play for Australia just because they played State of Origin they can get back? That boosts the
Yeah,
New Zealand team. Not that the New Zealand team should be that bad, and they're not. But it just makes it more interesting. It's not like, oh yeah, Australia's going to win. They don't always win, but they've
yeah.
had it too easy for way too long.
Do you change the whole Origin aspect? And I mean, not the whole Origin aspect. I mean, you change when it's played. And with the NRL going to expand in the future, possibly only play each player or each team only play once against, and then you have that shutdown in the middle when the normal Origin period is, and you have an international break of a fortnight.
Yeah, I know that they do that thing in soccer. I'm not a big fan of the international break, but I'm also not a fan of putting Origin at the end of the season again because you'll just end up last time where they have time off to fix injuries and stuff like that. Because first and foremost, your club's paying you, so your club should come first because that's where your money and your income comes from. Like I understand the want to play for your country, want to play for your state, but it just gets a little bit too much. The way that the rounds are set up now, it's way too long to include too much. You can go and do this Ashes series at the end, or if they throw a World Cup in there, players are basically not getting any time off. They're coming back from pre-season late, and you're affecting your product. Like the NRL's affecting their product by playing these players too long, because that's what broadcasters pay for. They want to pay for the best of the best, and fans want to watch the best of the
Well,
best. And the
that's
longer that
right.
you do it,
That broadcasting, that's all their investments. They want a return on their investment.
yeah,
But I just think, personal opinion, and having that, either that international break or that origin period
I
in the
think
middle, and you still then finish your football or your NRL at October long weekend
yeah,
here in New South Wales. You're still starting around that same time, maybe week or difference at the start of the season. You got to do something to make it all inclusive, because otherwise, the season's going to keep dragging on. Players aren't going to want to play because they've got those little niggling injuries and they want to be ready for the following
yeah,
season. So you're affecting that post-season, the internationals or the origin or however they go ahead with it. But
yeah. I think you can shorten the rounds to 19 if you had 20 teams. If you went with
yeah,
20
everyone just
teams,
play each other once.
yeah, you could add more teams later in the future, and then you can extend it. But that opens up the back half of the season so that players can go play State of Origin, and then you can move on to, you know, Pacific Cups or Pacific Trophies or whatever you wanted to do. You can do that sort of stuff. I'm just not a fan of the mid-season break. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, because you probably could do that. You could have State of Origin and then the international players playing like they had before, 3 consecutive weeks.
It could quite easily work, especially with clubs. When you look at clubs this year, and I'll use this year as an example, so many clubs were with so many injuries in that middle period. So if you had a 2 week shutdown where there was no club football, there's 2 extra weeks of rest and
Yeah,
rehab that gets those players back on the paddock quicker.
yeah, yeah. I don't like the idea of breaking it up in the middle of a season, because I think the season needs to be continuous. But I do understand the benefits of it, and really, I'm happy either way. The more that other international teams play each other, the stronger they're going to get and get more familiar, and the coach can actually build on the team. They can actually build some influence and have them want to play for them anyway. I've got heaps of weird ideas, like the NRL looking to buy the Super League. Does that mean that you could split Super League into a Northern Hemisphere conference and NRL into a Southern Hemisphere conference? Two grand finals. You still have the grand final. You still have that. 2 weeks later, play in a Super Bowl. And the week before that, you go from the teams that aren't playing in that game, the best of the best players that aren't playing in that game, and you have a Super
An All
League
Stars
NRL
game.
All Stars game where everybody's all inclusive. You can still do the Indigenous and Maori game as well. You can still do that. I'm a big fan of the way that it is. It'd clear up all of this bullshit with the change of the schedule that they've got, where they've changed the preliminary finals to a Friday and a Sunday to avoid the AFL Grand Final. You have that week off after that. Nobody's complaining about how much time they've got off. They've had plenty of time, and in that week before, you can play it. You can have an NRL festival in Sydney, Brisbane. You can do other things. You can still play. You could play the New South Wales Cup versus Queensland Cup, because that's all. That's all that I'm trying to say is you've got. That's basically what it is. Queensland Cup, New South Wales Cup, then they play in a super final. That's all it is. It's the same thing. It generates more revenue for NRL and Super League, and you alternate each year where they go. I don't see the problem with it. I know there'd be some people that do see a problem with it, but even in the Super League, it gives them their own sort of state of origin type thing. But they're still picking Australian players to play with some of these English players, and it gives them more development and more experience with players that are more experienced with them, and it'll just grow the game a lot. Like Super League, every year it seems like they want to change the rules and the competition, and they've just got no idea what they want. They're going into a board meeting to decide what teams play next year because Southford shit the bed, couldn't pay their players, and now they're trying to decide to expand on that. I don't think that's the time you should be expanding on it. I understand that people want their team in the Super League.
No, it's a different take on it.
Yeah.
And I quite like the idea of a All-Stars game.
Super League and NRL All Stars. There's some good English players. You only have to look at
Oh,
the ones that come out here. They're good. I know that they've taken a few back with friggin' Radley and Brimson. They get all stuck up about the eligibility of playing for New South Wales, Queensland, just because Brimson hasn't been picked for Queensland in not even that many years. What was it been, like 4? It was only about 4 years ago he played for Queensland. So he decided, I'll just go play for England. What's the difference?
the whole eligibility thing, I think, and it has been discussed from the NRL higher ups that it will be a big discussion in the off season. So we'll stay tuned with that one because that one will be a big talking point during the off season.
So I think we jump into this week's sports wrap. So this week on the sports wrap, we'll go through the NRL Finals first, I think.
Yeah, a few big games as we briefly touched on. Wet weather game over in New Zealand. Like I said, it lived up to a finals game. Warriors, unlucky back end of the season, bow out of this year's final series.
Yeah.
Credit to Penrith, where they were at the start of this year. Nobody would have thought that they'd be playing finals football, and yeah, they're just going to have to do it the hard way going from here still, but yeah.
I think it's a little bit of fatigue, though they didn't play the World Club Challenge last year. So did they play it the year before? I think they did, and they got beat by Wingen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even with that game out, it's a long season for all those players. Got little niggling injuries and stuff like that. It's not going to last
100%.
forever.
And I don't think this Penrith dynasty's over. They could get knocked out this week.
It's far from over.
It pains me to say it because I don't want the same team in the final every year. I want to see the close ladder that we had this year. We've got multiple teams, battling for that grand final spot.
Yeah.
So,
I think most people are the same. They don't want to just see the same team playing every time and winning, but it also brings that intrigue for that team that does beat them.
yeah.
You're still going to tune in because you want to see that other team beat them. Whether it happens this year or not, I'd be very surprised if Penrith win again this year. To be completely honest, after watching that Canberra Broncos game, they're by far the standout teams. If Canberra can back it up this weekend with that extra time and the short turnaround, I believe they can. I think they can beat the Sharks. What do you reckon?
I think they can. I think they'll bounce back after the disappointment. That'll be eating away at those players, and they'll use that as fuel for this weekend. But I will not write the Sharkies off. I said last week they could have went out against the Roosters, but the Sharkies, they didn't quite have as hard of a game. I believe the physicality of that Brisbane Canberra game, I think that's going to take a lot of physical and mental drain on those players.
Yeah.
We've seen in the past where the teams that have copped that big impact of a game, they've bowed out the following week.
They've got a little bit there. Like, I had them in the bottom 8. I think I had them close to the spoon at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to say that I definitely did because I can't back that up because we didn't have a podcast then. But I didn't have them in the 8. I didn't see them doing anything. It's just come from nowhere. And I think most people have seen that. And I think that Ricky will have them up for it this weekend. And I think they're going to be angry. They're not going to be very happy and they're going to prove everyone wrong again.
100% they'll be angry with themselves. Yeah, as we've seen in the past, teams that concede 50 points in the normal season don't go on to win it. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, in the NRL era, no one's won 5 in a row before, so
first for everything, I guess.
Yeah, records are meant to be broken. But on that Sharks Roosters game though, I said to you a little bit earlier because I don't see the hype around Walker as a halfback. I think he's just trick play nearly every play. There's no build up to anything. There's no turning the screws. There's none of that. And Sevilla's only a rookie. He was playing six the other day, but Sevilla's boot probably helped out more than anything. But it's good when it comes off. But you need that player that's a bit more calming, can run the team. And I don't think Walker's quite that person. And if DCE ends up at the Roosters, which all reports he will, it's probably going to help in the game management thing for him. But I don't think he's quite there. Like, I don't think I'd want him at the Knights, and the Knights need all the help they can get.
You being a Knight supporter should be right behind his Harbour Bridge pass because he just floated Sand and Smith down the highway to you.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be playing halfback. I can tell you that right now. Well, I hope not. I like going through comments and stuff. I don't understand why people want to move Fletcher Sharp back to the wing. Honestly, he needs to be in the middle of the field. He's not going back to fullback. Ponga will be the fullback. The only way that that's going to change is if Ponga leaves. And if Ponga leaves, then we're looking for a hooker, not a halfback. I honestly believe Fletcher Sharp is at the right age and with the right training and all of that, he could be anything.
100%.
And someone pointed out to me the other day that he reminds them of Kurt Gidley because of his versatility and his enthusiasm and all that, and that's 100% correct. And I think that's why I can relate to him so well.
I don't disagree. And the ability that Fletcher's got in the future as he grows and he keeps filling out, he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Kicking game will get better. His control of the game will get better.
Yeah, Tafiti got the Knights Player of the Year the other day, the Danny Badiris medal or whatever it is. And
only because Fletcher Sharp missed half a season.
But that's what I mean. Up until Fletch got injured, he was the best player on that field every week. He hasn't let anyone down. He hasn't given anyone reason to move him out of the halves. I think he's been a brilliant 5'8". He started to do a little bit of kicking. He started to do a little bit of ball playing. He's always there in support. He's wasted on the wing.
I think that having Fletch in and around the halves be good. Smith going there is only going to give you more depth because he does have that ability to jump into the halves.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how Dylan Brown goes because I believe he's a 6.
I don't believe that Brown's a halfback.
And I would not be surprised if Holbrooks doesn't trial at some point Fletch at 7, Brown at 6.
I think Fletch at 7 will be from the start. I think that's what the Knights have in plan. And, yeah. And they've got Sandon there if everything goes wrong. You can't. That's only going off if those players are 100% fit, and then they're fighting for their positions. But
yeah,
Justin Holbrook announced as the Knights coach. I'm happy with the decision. I can see that a lot of other Knights fans aren't because he didn't do so good he didn't get given enough time at the Titans. He's from Newcastle. No. He played 5 games in Newcastle. It's not that big of a deal.
No,
but I believe that these coaches, they get sacked from a club. People think, oh no, they're not real good. They learn from them experiences. Adam O'Brien will learn how to do things the next club that he goes to. He wants a break from head coaching. He'll go and assist for a bit, and when he's ready to put his hand up again, he'll put his hand up again. And he would have learned from the whole experience. It's not going to be wasted on him. He would have learned from it what went well, what didn't go well. And the same thing will be from Holbrook. He's got an outstanding record in the Super League. He's been an assistant at the Roosters. He helped the Titans. The last time the Titans played finals was with Holbrook. And I think that people just need to give him a chance.
They were also fighting for that last, I think they were fighting for 8th in Holbrook's last season, and they only missed out on for and against, I believe.
Yeah, too far back.
It's just going back to the finals and the Melbourne Doggies game. Another brutal top 4 clash. Oh, Kickoff's eye socket. You've got to be feeling that one.
Yeah. No, that is one thing that come out of that game was a lot of injuries to the Bulldogs who have to play next week. They don't get that
Yeah.
extra week to rest their players or anything like that. So Crichton's going to be a big loss. Hopefully, he's not gone for the whole season.
Crichton done well to muscle through that pain and last as long as he did.
Yeah. No, that's what you
He's
want from a player, though. He's come from Penrith, and Luai does the same thing. He's come to this new team trying to build something and bought into something and bring all the other players with him. That's the right
yeah,
attitude to have. He's not just going there for a payday or anything like that. He's taking his experience and he wants to help people.
yeah,
Crichton is an unbelievable player. And to start with, when he first got picked for Origin, it confused me. And then after I started watching him more and more, I get it. I get why he's so good. I get why he hasn't been moved to fullback. Otherwise, you're
yeah,
having the same argument that you're having with Latrell Mitchell. Should he be at fullback or should he be at centre? Latrell's best
yeah,
position is centre. He
yeah,
dominates it every time he's put there. But he's also a very good fullback. It's just that the Souths have to work out whether they want Jai Gray there or they want Latrell there. And it'll be up to whether Mitchell wants him to be fullback or if he wants to be centre as to whether he stays at the Rabbitohs or goes and finds elsewhere.
well,
Jai Gray got the player of the year the other day.
I think Souths have also got to look and go, hang on a minute. We know you're a world-class player, Latrell, but you also play for us. And for us to fit both of you into this squad, Jai Gray is our number one at the moment.
Yeah.
But, yeah, back to the Melbourne Bulldogs and, talking to the other night when the game was on, Jonah Pezzett.
Unbelievable.
Which is the club that's going to throw the most amount of money to get him out of that Melbourne system
Bears.
and get him there?
The Bears.
He's going to Bears.
I think they should. I don't necessarily think they will. They might go down the experience side of things, but I said to you the other night, the Dolphins went and got Katoa, and that's worked out pretty well for them.
Yeah, that's right. And I said to you as well that if Melbourne, and this is just my opinion, that if Melbourne moved Munster on and let Munster go to Perth, which was a big talk here a couple months ago, and they persisted and kept Pezzett to play beside Hughes, then as Hughes phases out and retires, Pezzett takes over that team, I would not be disappointed with it. Because the way he played the other night, why he hasn't been playing 7 more often.
Yeah. I think Pezzett's going to be a Cleary type player. He hasn't got that many NRL games under his belt, and he just played in a finals game and controlled it, kicking, passing, directed it, done everything perfectly that you could ask from a halfback. And he's only very young.
Yeah.
It'll just depend on who's beside him. So usually when you look at halves and stuff, it's very easy to go, they're a 6, just like Brown. He's a 7. And I don't know how that fits with Hughes still being there, if he can go to 6.
Well, I think
if Pezzett can go to 6, because you're not taking the halfback role from Hughes. That's the only downside I can see to it. You don't want to undo all of this that he can do by putting him at 6 and having a laid back sort of role.
I think Craig Bellamy is the type of coach that he could have Pezzett and Hughes in the same side.
Yeah, he'd be able to develop it.
They could both pick their moments to control or play that support role. I think
I don't think you can do that in a game plan. I don't think you can have them, you take this one type thing. I think you need one half, it's their team, they run the team, and then the other one plays off the back of it. And I think I think that player has to be Hughes.
That Bellamy's the type of coach, and he's changed so many different tactics over the years that I think he could be the coach to do it.
Yeah.
Because both Pezzett and Hughes can take the line on as that ball running support role.
Yeah.
And if the game, like some games, people are going to target Hughes a bit more because he's that more controlling half. That's when Pezzett could take that little bit of relief off him.
Yeah.
And that'd be only if Munster moved on. I don't know what Munster's plans are, but
yeah,
I mean, the other big talk
he might just stay. It's those sort of players. Melbourne don't generally let go of him. It was only because Cronk
That's
wanted to
right.
go that he went. It was only because GI offered to go because of the salary cap stuff that he went.
Yeah.
They
Right.
lose the odd forward and that wants another opportunity. Brendan Smith wanted an opportunity to play hooker with Harry Grant coming through. They don't lose many players, and they make better players out of what they gain.
That's right. Another left field thought. Ryan Pappenhausen moves on.
Yeah, well,
Could Pezzett play one?
no,
Don't think
I don't think Pezzett
so.
plays one. But they do
Munster.
have is it Flongo?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Flongo
Yeah.
there.
Something.
He'll be an unreal fullback. He'll probably suit that style really well. But we also don't know how long Craig Bellamy's got left. Like every year, I'm not playing last year, and then he goes again, and then he goes again, and
Yeah.
to all those people out there that when your team goes and selects a coach, because obviously I've had to read the comments and stuff about what people like us think should be the coach. I'm a little bit more laid back than people. I'm not going to say it's a shit decision. I'm going to back them. Craig Bellamy when he first started, he applied for the Canberra job, and they went Adam Elliott over him simply because Craig Bellamy didn't interview well. Never coached before. Adam Elliott had experience. Then Melbourne picked him up and gave a chance on him. Pretty sure that's worked out pretty well for Melbourne. If Craig Bellamy isn't the best coach ever, I'm I think he's covered Bennett.
Yeah. I think Bellamy's done it with.
Bennett's
I won't
coached for
say
a very long
lesser.
time,
I
but
won't
yeah,
say lesser players, but he hasn't had the quality of players that Brisbane had during that 90 system
yeah.
when, yeah,
When the ARL and Super League merged, and it was
when
a little
Wayne
bit
Bennett was unstoppable through that 90s
yeah,
and early 2000s. Brisbane had all but the Australian squad there.
yeah.
And
Where
so
Melbourne just grabbed those players that people
Bellamy's got a knack for picking up clubs' rejects
yeah.
uh,
Well, it's not
and turning
necessarily
them
that they're
in.
rejects. I'd just say that clubs couldn't get the most out of them, and Craig Bellamy just has. All the players in the NRL are talented. You don't just get there without talent.
Yeah, but clubs have still rejected him. That's
Yeah,
what I'm trying to get at. Craig Bellamy's just got that knack of being able to, yeah, to get it out of him, and he'll keep on doing that right up until he finishes up.
yeah, yeah. And while we're on the coach thing, I've seen a lot of people that say, "Oh, Holbrook didn't do much with the Titans, and he can't coach." Madge Maguire and Ricky Stewart both copped the same thing when they got sacked from their clubs. It's not that, and they just produced the two teams that played probably one of the best finals games that we've seen in a very long time. Like that intent,
Yeah, yeah.
that'll stand out for a long time. And while I'm on that, Reece Walsh, after he come back from that bin and absolutely tore Canberra apart, Reece Walsh won that game for Brisbane, hands down.
Well,
That is one of the best individual performances I've seen for a very long time. And I didn't think he had it in him. I thought he had
no.
too much stupidity in him to actually, but he controlled that game and he wasn't letting go.
I read an article that Carrigan, yeah, had an interview, and there's no TVs or whatnot in the dressing sheds there at Canberra, and so all they'd done for those 7 or 8 minutes that they were both in there together was just to talk about how they were going to turn this game around, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, did they have fresh toilets in the sheds, and Reece Walsh got a top up?
I don't know. I seen a funny meme today of friggin' Reese's plumbing with friggin' Reece Walsh there. That was pretty funny. But
Yeah. I was having a discussion with another mate the other day, and yeah, he was off to Reece. I said, "Oh, you going to get his autograph here?" And yeah, we both had a bit of a chuckle about the same thing.
yeah,
They could use him as a poster boy.
yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next thing. Seen on Fox Sports the other day. I've heard it come up a couple of times since then. but the AFL are trying to implement their own State of Origin series again, and it hasn't been played since 1999. I'd love to see it take off. I don't know if it quite works with AFL or not. It's good to see AFL are trying to implement their own sort of representative season. You can play a whole sport, and you go and play a made up sport against Ireland every year is a little bit underwhelming for me. You'd want to play for Australia, the thing that you're good at, really, wouldn't you?
It's not really a
And
sport, but
don't judge me on it. I don't follow much AFL because it's time restricted. I don't hate AFL. I used to watch the end of the NRL games on Thursdays and that, or Friday nights, and I'd flick over, watch the last quarter of an AFL game, and then flick over and watch the golf before I went to bed. I don't hate it. Like AFL Grand Final, I watch every year when I can. I'm not necessarily going to take work off for it, but which it falls when I'm working this year, I think.
yeah,
I'm doing night shift.
yeah, I can see where the AFL's coming from and how they want to build their sport. I just think at the end of the day, the true state of origin lies in rugby league, but we'll see how it pans out. They have tried it before, it wasn't quite successful. So I guess if it's done properly and the fans can get behind it, and that's a big thing, getting the fans behind it and
Yeah,
showing that support, then obviously it can go ahead and take off.
I'm going to be intrigued to watch it and intrigued to see what the outcome is from it and what the fans' reaction is to it. And if there is anyone listening that knows AFL a little bit better than what we do, what are your thoughts on it? Because I want to know from somebody that actually follows AFL whether or not it's a good thing or not. Obviously, in rugby league, it's a good thing, and it always will be. And it's kind of a headache at the same time because you've got to find somewhere to put that
Yeah,
in the calendar, and it's disruptive. But it's too good of a thing to let go of.
I haven't read too much into how whether it's going to be a series or a one-off game, but I think for those that don't watch AFL all the time, it may draw them to come and watch it.
It's definitely gonna grab
Because
people.
it's going to be that's right. It's going to be on a bigger scale than a normal weekend Sydney Swans versus.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I said, neither of us. I mean, I've played it at school to
I
get
played
a day
AFL
out,
once and I hated it
day,
because I didn't know.
day out of the classroom, but
I also played 3 games of rugby union in my time, and I didn't like that either. So I was bored, so bored. I wish we had played at school when we had that team before we didn't. I was playing fly half. Also working on those dropouts too.
Yeah, well, I actually kicking the footy around the kids the other arvo, and the youngest fella, he's asked me to drop kick the ball, and I actually can't drop kick a football anymore. I was very disappointed. I shanked it straight off the side of the boot and off it went. And
I was actually surprised that a couple of years ago when I tried to come back and play footy at the wrong age, just at train, and I was just goal kicking just for fun because I used to be alright when I was younger. I was surprised I could still do it, like really well. So, well, I've said to you before, that's probably what my fascination with golf is, just like the strike and all of that. That's why I love playing golf. And I turned Amanda down yesterday. She offered to pay for a round of golf yesterday morning, and I just didn't want to. Probably should have took that. It's not very often your wife pays for you to play a game of golf. So
no, they don't.
Just quickly on the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs play the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl rematch, which doesn't actually happen very often because they've got the two conferences. They don't normally play each other that often. So it's only happened 11 times since the implementation of the Super Bowl. They got beat by Philadelphia, and largely to the thing you're not going to know about, and you're probably going to laugh at me, the tush push, which is a thing, the tush push. So it's controversial in the NFL. People they voted on it in March, to see whether or not it should be banned. And basically, what they've done is they get the quarterback up behind the offensive linesman, right close to the line. So when they're like a yard out, and they basically pack a scrum and push him in and over, and other teams cannot stop it.
Surely they could come up with a better name.
That's what they call it. They call it tush
The
push.
tush push.
I think they should just call it a scrum, but whatever. It's
Probably
coming too.
better.
It's not even like they hide that they're doing it, that it's coming and they don't know how to stop it. I've got an idea of maybe getting out a lot lower, but I don't know how you do stop it. And that's why they tried to ban it, but they got the votes from all the clubs to keep it, and Philadelphia are still the only team that do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you do whatever you can to score the points to win the game, but I think they could come up with a better.
Oh, I think that's come
better
from
name.
That's probably come from commentators just calling it a
It's
push
probably
because it's
still
basically the same thing. They get in behind the quarterback and they push him.
it's probably a better scrum than the NRL. That's probably the biggest downfall of the NRL, and been one of my biggest pet hates ever since they changed being able to actually push in a scrum. Anyway, that's a whole different day. That one.
You can still push in a scrum. They just don't do it. It's not beneficial. But I also don't understand why they don't use trick plays in NRL off scrums, because that's when you got half the team is in the middle of the field and you've got the rest of the field, and you should really do more with that. So
back towards the start of this season, you've seen a lot more of the clubs try it, but a lot of the times the players would see that. That's when they'd make their own mistakes. They'd drop the ball.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier to, I've noticed that they try and use those smaller, quicker blokes like the Reece Walshes, Scotty Drinkwaters, to try and use that speed and
get on
that outside shoulder,
outside them and throw the ball.
Yeah, but I guess when especially in the attacking third, you want to try and hold onto the ball, I guess.
And I did get to see a little bit of NFL this weekend. I was watching. We're recording on a Tuesday, so I was watching the Buccaneers and the Texans playing today, and the Buccaneers being your team, Baker Mayfield, their quarterback. I've only watched him play about 3 games the whole time I've been watching it, and every single time he seems to find a way in the 9 seconds of a quarter, in the fourth quarter, to win a game for his team. Just absolutely unbelievable. And I don't understand. If anyone understands NFL, can you tell me why people hate Baker Mayfield so much? I know he was a Heisman Trophy winner in college, which is the Dally M in college football, I suppose, the top gong. And he goes to a team, he gets moved to another team, then moved to another team, and now he's found a home at the Bucks. It's a good pickup for the Bucks because he's a really good player. I don't know if it's the players around him that's the problem or if it's something to do with him, but I just think he's unbelievable to watch. He's fun to watch. I don't know that much.
Yeah, and you said that the Buccaneers being my team. They're my team because that's just who I used to choose when I played on the PlayStation. I don't actually follow too much of the NFL to actually have a team.
Yeah.
But when I play NFL or
Madden.
whatnot on the Madden, that's how it all started on the PlayStation. It was always Buccaneers or Patriots that I'd choose. So, yeah, Buccaneers is where I stopped. I guess it
just embrace it. Just embrace it.
Goes, yeah.
Like I said, it works out well for us because one's on AFC and one's on the NFC. We can play each other in a Super Bowl.
Well, you could lose the Super Bowl anyway.
It won't be this year. Much happened in the EPL this week. You pay more attention to the EPL than what I do.
A lot of draws this week in the EPL, but I mean, I guess that's soccer. It's just a lot of teams are evenly balanced outside sort of the top 5, 6, 7 squads. It's so even. So it was just one of those rounds, but Manchester stays blue, so that's always a plus.
Yeah.
We don't want those Red Devils winning.
I felt sorry for Ange. His first game in charge of Forest, and comes up against Arsenal, that's a bit of a tough task, but hopefully another week with the team and can turn it around pretty quickly. What I don't understand is that apparently he already knew that this was going to happen before the season started. Why not do it at the start of the season? Like before there's a ball even kicked.
Yeah, it happens in all sports. We see it through every season. This NRL season was actually quite surprising that we went 24 rounds before a coach got sacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does make sense to do it 5 weeks ago before the season kicked off over there. Give Ange the reins leading into the season. But yeah, for him to come up against Arsenal with his first game, yeah, it's a tough one. The Gunners, they've been building over the last few years, and it'll be interesting to see how far they can go with it. I mean, they've been close the last couple of years, but
yeah,
we'll see where they finish this year.
Yeah, well, hopefully Liverpool will just keep winning and I'll be happy.
Well, no, the Scousers can lose.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just about everything we've got for the sports right? Did you have anything else?
No, that's pretty well it. Cricket season's approaching, so over the next couple of weeks we'll start delving into the Big Bash and the upcoming Ashes series. So
you're Thunder, aren't
you? Yeah, Sydney Thunder. A few disappointing years. Last year wasn't too bad, but yeah.
You know, it's always been strange to me. Why can't Canberra, Newcastle, Townsville? I'm sure there's other places further down south. Why can't they have teams?
Yeah,
I'd love to have a Newcastle Big Bash team.
They travel down to Hobart and over to Perth and that, but I guess it comes down to the being able to tell it.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to put New Zealand team in. A-League done
it. Don't count it off too quick because but they'd have their own over there too, and I guess that's Newcastle. It'd come down to facilities in Newcastle and being able to support.
Yeah, Mac Jones wouldn't be big enough.
Nah, you don't play cricket on a square ground.
You're probably right.
But yeah, I guess it's a big factor in those. I won't say smaller towns and whatnot, but yeah, Sydney.
I don't know. Maybe it's something Newcastle will look into to try and draw those sort of games, though.
Maybe.
I'm not going to sit here and talk about politics and economy about Newcastle, to be honest. I struggle talking about their team.
Yeah, well, the Jets look like they're starting pretty good.
They won the Australian Cup the other day, didn't they? Has it been played yet? They're not playing an A-League team, are they?
The Australia Cup final.
I'll just Google it real quick.
They played Western a few weeks ago.
They played Western?
Yeah. Western Bears.
I didn't know they played Western.
Yeah, well, the Australia Cup goes all the way. So obviously you got your A-League teams, then you got all your Northern New South Wales teams and all of New South Wales teams. Like Singleton play in a Cessnock, and you can nominate to play in the Australia Cup. Comes down to how well you're going to do, I guess.
Yeah, I think I might have read something else.
Yeah, it might have been a trial because they are getting ready to kick the season off. All the local leagues, it's semi-finals at the moment and final series. They got their grand finals next weekend after.
Yeah, because they'll do it afterwards, won't they?
Yeah, and then the A-League will kick off. It's not that far away.
So it's getting played in Lakeside Stadium on the 4th of October.
AstroTurf.
Yeah. Heidelberg United FC against Newcastle Jets. It's not an A-League team. Mind you, what is it? Western Melbourne team in the A-League? They've been kicked out. Western United? They've been booted from the A-League.
Yeah, Western United. Yes, I did. read that a couple of days ago. But the current holders of the Australia Cup won't tell me.
Yeah. Do you reckon that'll come down to the A-League, if they won it, they didn't win against a big club? It'll be null and void, like they do with the 97 grand final. They only played half a competition. Yeah, but those other teams were... In 98, when they come back together, there was no salary cap. They just kept the teams that they had. That's why Brisbane was so good the next year as well. Just so for people that didn't know, they were paid a lot more to be at that club.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
The Knights still come second that season on the ladder. So I don't know what people on. That was the first time that an NRL or Rugby League Super Bowl ever come up, was between Super League and ARL. And it never got off the ground.
No, I don't think that would have ended too well for the Knights back in '97. I think that Brisbane team would have.
That Brisbane team was an Australian team.
Yeah, Knights would have copped a bit of a touch up, I think.
Yeah, I think we can move on to some gaming talk. So this week, I went and looked into some games and stuff, and I've been missing out a little bit, to be honest. I don't have stuff come up on Facebook and stuff, but most of the stuff's GTA 6, and I'm kind of sick of hearing about how good it's going to be. I just want to see how good it's going to be honest. And I don't know, will GTA 6 be a whole podcast episode on its own? I think it's worth it.
I've never been a massive GTA player, so I'm
not a fan of the online. Like, I know most people these days play online, but I'm an original GTA story mode, go around and do the things, and I like doing that sort of stuff. Well, I don't know. I can get into online with some stuff. I don't know. I don't have that many friends. Anyway, this week I come across Project Motor Racing, which I'm pretty sure that I already did kind of know about. I just hadn't delved into it. And I sent the video to you. And honestly, it looks really good. Like, the career mode setup, an idea for the career mode is, it's probably going to be, from that side of things, of representing what motor racing is actually about. I think Project Motor Racing is going to be really good on that side. It'll just depend on what the gameplay and graphics is going to be like, I suppose. I'd like to see it transfer into VR, or at least PlayStation VR. So
the thing that really excites me about this career mode was there's actually more of a skill factor to it. You're not just going to be jumping in a car and racing.
No.
Like, you've actually got to. If you crash, it's going to cost you money to rebuild that car, and there's more strategy behind it.
Yeah.
Many years ago, one of the original Need for Speeds, before your undergrounds and everything, if you crashed that car, you had to rebuild it and pay for parts and whatnot. And
the F1 games do it pretty well, but not what this is literally. Like, I recommend everyone go and have a look at the video. It's just type in Project Motorsport career mode, and there's a little video that tells you what they're trying to implement. But the basic idea behind it is that you're starting your own race team. You get given a certain amount of money, and depending on the region that you start in, it's going to affect, the price of cars, the travel to go to venues, and then you've got to pick and choose your races and competitions that you want to be in to your affordability. But you've also, while you're racing the car, you've got to think about the damage and all of that stuff, rather than just hooking in and hitting that other car. And they've got an online mode, but I think the career mode is going to be the most appealing thing to me, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, very excited about that game. Yeah, I really can't wait for that. I might actually have to break the steering wheel out for that one.
Yeah, I dare say I am going to look into a steering wheel very, very soon. The only problem is if you sort of need the frame to go with it, and it's pretty expensive.
Well, I'm sure I can come down and jimmy rig something up out of a bit of timber for you.
Yep, you do that. I'm all good. But I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Like you've got to concentrate on your lap times and like any other game, but to add that part to it, like there's when you go and have a look at it outside of arcade racing games, there's not that many genuine simulators anymore. You've got Gran Turismo, Forza, outside of Horizon. What I've heard
Even Forza, like
was it
I
Forza
played,
Motorsport? Is
yeah, I
the
played a
simulator version?
fair bit of Forza on the Xbox, and the depth of this Project Motorsports game is a whole nother level. Like
Yeah,
Forza does not even touch the sides
yeah.
of this game. It's
Assetto Corsa,
built
that's very in depth with its career mode and signing contracts and stuff like that. But this is building your own race team from ground up,
for
and
those that
I
want to
can't wait.
watch. Yeah, for those that want to watch this video, we'll put a link to the video on our socials. So if you want to have a look,
Yeah,
go and have a look
yeah. Go
there.
on there, give it a like, and then it'll pop up. You won't have to go looking for it. We're going to be a little bit more proactive in post and stuff. I think I put up the first episode and been watching to see how that goes and what sort of interest. I'll get to the end of the episode and delve into a little bit of that. Pretty happy with myself, but yeah, I'm excited for Project Motorsport. I'd heard about it, went and seen about it, and I need to start looking into what more games are coming out. The other one that I had a look at was Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and it looks like a Resident Evil game. I enjoy the Resident Evil games. Like I said last week, I got them, played them on VR and all that, and it's the most immersive thing you can do. I absolutely love it. Don't know if this one, I'd say this one will be VR compatible as well. I can't see them going away from it, but I think it's pretty successful. So I'm just
Yeah,
happy to see another Resident Evil game and not a remake.
I've played a few Resident Evils over the years, but the last couple of haven't delved too far into them. I don't know. I just threw
Is
away.
that because the last couple have been like first person ones and you prefer third person when you're playing?
It could be just something second nature that pushes me away from it. But
No. Well, I just know when
yeah,
we play Ark, I prefer the first person view and you prefer playing third person.
yeah,
That's
yeah. To me, I can see more that way. But yeah,
yeah.
that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, Resident Evil, they all that's a great franchise.
Yeah.
They've always produced good games.
Yeah. I think they're rebooting
And
the movies
I
as
don't
well.
think this one will be any different. I think it could very much be a
Oh, it'll
good
just be
game.
the story. It'll be a good story, your puzzles, your horror and all of that stuff. And yeah, just make sure if you're playing it in VR that your wife and your kids aren't home because they will tap you on the shoulder and you will shit your pants. So yeah, but I'll get on to the other thing with the gaming this week. So I downloaded yesterday the Hitman Worlds or whatever it is, the Hitman series, which was all three games compatible with VR and stuff like that. I didn't actually realize there was an extra $14 to make it compatible with VR, but I played it in VR. I've played the Hitman games before. It's not the first time I've played them. I just wanted to see how it translated to VR, and just like Resident Evil, it does the same thing. It just makes it so immersive. You get through. I haven't played the VR in a while. I did get a little bit seasick, but I just put it down for a bit, go have a Coke, go have a drink, go have whatever, and then come back to it 10 to 15 minutes later, and it hasn't been too bad. But it's just the immersion of it. I'd love to get you up here and all down here to jump on and give VR a go because I think you'd be genuinely surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I want to play cricket in
Yeah,
VR,
the old mate
proper
playing on
cricket.
cricket. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's for the Mega Quest. You
that,
can't get that on
yeah,
VR too.
different system, but yeah, I think
Although there is something that I remembered that I told you ages ago when I first got the VR because I was looking for games and stuff like that, and there wasn't that many on there. If you're unsure about between the VR and the Quest, because the thing is, you might have a PlayStation at home and don't necessarily have a computer to play the Quest on, but the Quest has more games, and there's games like the cricket one, like Golf Plus, that you want to go and play, or anything really. You can get an adapter for the VR2 to go to the computer. You're
yeah,
not you're not really, you know, you don't have to do either either.
the limitations are slowly getting
it's all going.
less.
It's starting to be that you can get whatever with whatever. That's what the whole Xbox PlayStation crossover thing is that they're starting to share all these games so that it's access to everybody, which I'm happy. I'm happy for everybody to have
100%.
access to it. I absolutely
I
love it.
I like the fact that there's a lot more cross-play games
Yeah,
nowadays for those to play online,
yeah,
and that I think I don't know. I personally think that in the future that you'll be able to do everything from one console.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
I don't think it's as far away as what some people think, but then
Well, a
I'll
lot of the
also look at it from the business side of things that PlayStation or Xbox,
yeah, I know that
either one of them they'd fold, or unless one bought the other out, like there'd be
yeah,
the money grab. But whatever they're creating crossplay games, I guess they're gonna stay away from that.
yeah. Well, I've noticed that they're putting a lot into the handheld ones now for handheld PCs and PlayStations and all that. They're putting a lot of work into it because I think they've become very popular, and I can see why.
Yeah,
I don't really need
and
to. I've got the TV and I've got the console, so I don't really need the handheld. I can't take it to work. Like,
yeah. So I bought the handheld PlayStation, the last one, for going to work.
yeah, you work
I
away and
do
stuff.
I do work when I go to work. It's more when rain days, and because I'm
Yeah,
in that type of work
and
environment,
living away as well.
I
Like,
shut down
you've
and
got a
I'm
big
sitting
job coming
around
up
for
soon
a
that
couple of
you're going to
hours.
be living away.
Yeah, so I didn't like the fact that I can't just turn that system on and just play that system. I've got to be logged in through the PlayStation Network to be able to, and connected to my PlayStation at home
Yeah,
to be able to play it. Like I was under the impression it was like the old PSP
yeah.
where they were a separate unit and I could just play it. It was all built into this U-Boot
Yeah.
controller.
I did see a
And
thing the other day that PlayStation's working on PS6 and PSP3.
yes, 100%. I read that, and I think it is you said a lot of things are going to that handheld route, and I think that is a big possibility and a big thing for PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah. But going back to the Hitman, like it's all immersive, all that. The reason I bought it yesterday was it was priced down on PSN. It was on a deal. So I think it was like maybe 60, $70 or something. When originally it's $150. In that format, you get the 3 games, heaps of added extras and stuff. That I understand why they're trying to sell that for $150. I went in the other day because I wanted to play Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. I wanted to give that a go because I never actually played that growing up. I'd never played that one, so I wanted to give it a go because I used to love those old Metal Gear Solid games. And it was $130 for a remade game, the standard edition. And to me, that's ridiculous. I'm going to wait until it gets discounted. I've been waiting ages for it to get released, but I'm just going to wait until it comes down in price because there is no way I want to pay that much. I'm not that dedicated to it. I think that's just robbery.
We've had this same discussion many times, and I'm a firm believer that unless I am getting a hard copy of a game, the game should not cost more than $100.
No.
You got to download it to your system.
Yeah.
Then your system fills up with storage anyway.
But at least explain to us what extra effort you're putting in to make it
There is
worth.
no extra effort. You can go buy the same game for the same price from EB Games or Big W. Get
Yeah.
the hard copy, take the disc home, frame it on the wall,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost you any different.
Yeah.
You get more for it.
Yeah.
I get nothing extra to buy online.
Yeah, but I'm talking just the general $130 for a remade game. Like I understand they've upgraded the graphics. It's still the same game. We've played it before.
That's right.
It's not an entirely new game.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I understand that during that COVID period when people couldn't go to the shops and whatnot to buy the games, and everything was sort of bought online then.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that anymore.
No.
So it is only for the convenience, and that's what these game companies are saying. That is only for the convenience of not having to leave your living room. That they just keep on robbing us of our hard-earned money.
I only download them now because it's easier. I don't have to go to the
For
shops. The game's
for pod,
available.
you download it for podcast content and get in
Yeah,
trouble
or
off your wife.
don't tell your wife that you downloaded it for the podcast because she won't see it your way. I didn't download it just for that. I wanted to get it anyway. It just happened that it was a good conversation starter. So, yeah, that happened. But, yeah, I think that's all. I wanted to cover. You got anything for games? It's been pretty much just me this
Nah,
week.
I did. I had a bit more of a look into Hell Is Us. I think
Yeah.
it. I don't not like it, but yeah,
I'm,
I haven't watched enough of it or to actually
yeah.
make me mind up about it, whether I'm going to get it and give it a good crack. But yeah, I think it is a game I am on the fence at the moment, and it to a lot of people they would enjoy it, but
I think I'm going to wait until there's some gameplay and bit of feedback come back from it because I'm
I
not
think that's what
100%
I'm
sure.
waiting for as well. The few videos I have watched, I'm okay about it, and it was same that 007 we were discussing, 25-minute video,
Oh, that
short
was the
gameplay,
gameplay. Yeah, I skipped through some of that, but
and
I'm actually looking forward to it, to be honest. Like, I've
yeah,
been playing Hitman. If you don't know, there's a new 007 game coming out in March next year, and it's made by the exact same people as Hitman. And you alerted to me that people have been commenting saying it looks like Hitman. You're like, yeah, it does look like Hitman. It's because it's made by the same people.
yeah.
Like,
I
it's
mean, I'm not sold on it. I'm really not.
and
I
that's
wasn't drawn into that. The gameplay that I watched of it, I wasn't drawn to it, and it kind of bored me.
yeah,
So I don't think I'm going to rush to get that one.
yeah.
As more gameplay comes out of it, and there's more and more people talking about it, and more of a hype, I might change my mind. But at the moment, that one's a negative for me.
Yeah, I think I'm still stuck up on 007 Nightfire, to be honest. I used to play so much of that with my mates and stuff before footy, after footy.
Uh, Sometimes you got to let the past go.
Yeah, I know. I know it's never as good. I really enjoyed that. I used to have it at home as well, so I love the story to it and all of that. And it feels like there hasn't been any really good ones since, and I want it to be good. I stopped playing movie-based games a long time ago when I realised that they were shit. They weren't They weren't high end games. They were just living off the name of it, and the playability of them weren't that great. It used to be that you get those games and they're actually really good.
Yeah, like you said, it's the living on that name, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and
cash grabs.
a lot of other games do that too. There's countless games that are just remastered or
And there's a lot of games that I'd
reskin.
love to see them remastered, but yeah, I don't think we ever will.
I don't have a problem with them remastering. I like going back and playing the old games. I just don't think that I have to pay new game's
Premium
price to be able to
price.
play it. No,
No.
because all the groundwork's already there, and they're reskinning what's already there, and a couple of little updates doesn't seem like it's worth the extra money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
What if they remastered John and Lomu Rugby?
oh, I'm not paying $100 for it. I'd pay it, but I'm not paying $100 for it.
Yeah. And yeah, there probably is a few games out there that are worth that premium price,
Yeah,
but still not $130.
yeah, yeah, well,
I mean, some things are better off left in the past as well.
yeah,
Some games shouldn't be remastered.
yeah. You gotta remember the game for what it was. To be honest, so
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think we can move on to our predictions for the week. So last week we got two each.
Yeah, so I had prediction was that Manchester would stay blue, and that I said that City would win 3-1, but they actually won 3-0, which is even better.
Yeah,
I've still got one rolling at the moment, and I said the doggies would go out in straight sets, and I still believe that they will. I
yeah,
think
you're halfway
Penrith,
there.
I think Penrith will beat them this weekend. I
Yep,
think those the injury to Critter,
yep,
it's a big one. Sharks ended up beating the Roosters. I thought the Roosters would win, and for a good part of that game, I was fairly confident. The last sort of 10 minutes, 12 minutes of that game, Sharks they come home with a wet sail. But yeah, and yourself, Ravens bounce back.
yeah. No, the Ravens did bounce back up against the Browns. To be honest, the Browns didn't give much of a challenge up. Derrick Henry didn't run for 200 yards. I actually don't know what happened. I didn't get a chance to see the game, and I still can't figure out how to use this NFL pass properly to see replayed games. I did get to see a little bit of it. It was mostly highlights, so I'm not sure what happened to Derrick Henry. If someone could let me know. I feel like he was injured, but I feel like he might not have been after reading some stuff. I had Canberra to win against Brisbane and got close. Didn't quite get it, but like I said before, that was just despite all the stuff that happened in that game, for a game to go for 93 minutes or whatever it was, that that was an unbelievable game to watch. If you're a true NRL fan, or even if you're not, the excitement and all of that you would have been watching, I would have hated to be a Raiders or a Broncos fan the other day. Absolutely would have hated being a Raiders fan because you won the game twice and still didn't get it. So
Yeah.
you know,
It,
it's it's just one of those things.
yeah, just from an outside perspective, you live down in Canberra. What was it like down in Canberra, the atmosphere at GIO
Unbelievable.
Stadium, and what those people, those
When
fans were going through the other afternoon?
I lived down there was when they started the Viking Club, when that started to become a thing, and they played Penrith in a final. I'm not sure which final it was, but they played Penrith in a final in Canberra. And I just remember we were moving at the time to move back up to the Central Coast from down there, and we went down to pick the last of our stuff up, me and my wife. And on the way down there, I just said, "Oh fuck it, we'll just go to the game." So we went to the game that night as something to do to kill time between moving stuff the next day, and we just bought general admission tickets, and we ended up right in the middle of the Viking Club, and it was the most electric. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere that Canberra get. Canberra are very, very passionate fans down there. They absolutely love their team. Absolutely love
Well,
it. And the cold weather that they show up in to be there, they're a little bit underrated. How much of a great fan base they are. I consider the Raiders as my second team. I have before I moved down there because I grew up with them being sort of mediocre. I don't remember the 90s when they were good. I just remember them sort of being around that top eight and just always won Monday night games for some reason. And it's probably got a lot to do with the cold, to be honest. But
yeah,
it,
I mean,
I'd go back to a Canberra game in Canberra.
it's like, yeah, the you said about the fans being so passionate, and I guess Reece Walsh found that out when he was walking down the tunnel the other afternoon.
It is what
But
it
yeah,
is. The
the,
NRL are going to rule on it. Like, I'm just glad they didn't pull or was it Taylor May that got suspended his suspension for the fans and got to play through that final series and then got injured
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, the
which
fans have got to see it.
that shouldn't happen.
No,
So,
uh,
but
but
on the other prediction from last week, I said that we'd get 25 listens on the podcast through my funneling systems of statistics that I get from where I feed it from. We got 46 downloads over Apple Podcast and Spotify. Listen notes, Facebook, the web browser one because I didn't realize I had to wait the first time I downloaded it. Hopefully that's all been fixed this time. But on Spotify, because I can't work out how it translates, we've had 31 plays on Spotify and we've got 4 follows. And the easiest way to keep up to date with what we're doing is just to give that a follow. So, yeah, give us a like on the Facebook page and on Spotify or wherever you listen it to. And yeah, just help it grow. It'll help the algorithm. We can get more people in there, and then hopefully we can get some to and fro from people who know what we're talking about or enjoy what we're talking about, or just get a little bit of feedback, even if you want to, or anything like that. So, yeah. So, what's your predictions this week?
This week, we've got NRL final series starting.
Yeah.
And
Guys mentioned the Roosters have gone undefeated this season.
They have.
So far.
And now, this isn't a prediction, but I think they will continue to go undefeated, and I think they'll win it.
Yeah.
But for this week, I've gone Knights and the Cowboys both to win their NRL finals game, both 1-12. And then over in AFL, the preliminary finals, we're going Geelong and Collingwood both to win to make the grand final. As we spoke about, I'm not a massive AFL fan. It's just another sport. I flick through, I'll have a watch, I'll watch some highlights, and I understand a few rules, but I'm not a big AFL person. But yeah, for me, I just think Geelong and Collingwood, they're both in the positions that they finished on the ladder, they should both win.
Yeah.
Going back to the EPL, Merseyside derby between Liverpool, Everton. There's a lot of Liverpool fans out there that'll be hoping that they keep on winning, but I've just got a sneaking suspicion that that'll finish in a draw.
Yep. You reckon?
Yeah. I won't say it's a goalless draw. I think both teams are scoring goals. Liverpool have found ways to win in the past, but I think Everton, from what I've watched of them so far this season, I think Everton, it'll be a little bit of an upset taking a point away from Liverpool.
The predictions I've got this week is I think the Chiefs are going to end their 3-game losing streak since the Super Bowl. I think they win this week. Just simply, they're due for a win. They're still not that bad a side, and like I said before, it was only because of the tush push and maybe a drop from Travis probably was the reason for that. But I'm happy to say that the Chiefs are going to win next week against the Giants. I don't see the Giants being a big threat to them, to be honest. They're both 0-2, and the Chiefs are a lot better team than what the Giants are at the moment. I'm pretty sure the Giants have a rookie quarterback. Sam Holmes will probably give him a good old school. We've got the Raiders to beat the Sharks. I know they just had a big game against Brisbane, but the Sharks did not show me enough where the Raiders showed me plenty on Sunday when they were playing. Off quick, Starling, just schooling them through the middle until they'll put on the back foot. Just getting forward. The forwards doing what they needed to. Hudson Young getting out and about. KO Weeks just playing off the back of mistakes or open field. They've got a really good team there. And it's a little bit of a shame that they lose Fogarty next year because I wouldn't mind to see how good this Canberra team could be. But I'm not sure what they're going to do around that halfback situation. I don't know if Strange can go into halfback. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but I'm still sure Sticky's got a plan in place anyway. So, and I've also my third prediction for this week is Ange to get his first win in the APL with Forest over Burnley. What? So, yeah. And yous would know because we decided this after the podcast the other day, but me and Zach are taking $10 each and putting these bets on. So our predictions that we put into a multi and hopefully get a little bit of a return from it anyway. I don't recommend that other people listen to us though.
No, do not follow our multi predictions.
No, not at this stage anyway. Unless we start getting a few, then maybe. You got anything else for this week?
No. So yeah, that's just about it for
I've got one
this week.
I've got one more thing this week.
What's
I finally talked you into doing this podcast after how long? And turns out you've accepted a job for 6 weeks out in the middle of nowhere. So I might not have you for a couple of weeks out of the next couple. So to everybody that really wants to listen to Zach for some reason, he might not be here for a couple of episodes, and I've got to come up with a plan B so I can stay consistent. And
yeah, I mean, I kind of got to keep a roof over the kid's head and food in their belly, but
no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Zach's accepted a job with his business out in the middle of New South Wales somewhere. No reception, and it's pretty bad when the what is it, foreman or company that's hired him is trying to buy a satellite phone to communicate with his own family. But yeah,
I stand by. You don't really work that hard.
We'll come up with something anyway. We might be able to get Zach on for a couple of the things, and that it just might not be quite as current because it might be on like a Sunday arvo or something like that before he leaves to go away, and not doing it on the Tuesday. It's already a little bit outdated by the time it comes to Thursday because a lot more things come out and stuff. But we're trying to do the best we can to get it out there on Thursday anyway. And even if it's just me in here trying to talk through things, I don't know how I'll go talking to myself. I don't like listening to myself. So
you're a dump truck driver, so you talk to yourself a lot of the night and half the day. So
yeah,
you're used to it.
Yeah, I'm sick of hearing me. But if we can get people just to go over and give, even wherever you get your podcast from, give it a follow, show your support on the Facebook page and on Instagram page, and send us in some messages on what you want to talk about or what you don't like or just disagree with us. Yeah, we don't stand by all their comments that much, do we? We're open to opinions.
Yeah, that's where this podcast originated from. It was just Jason and I. We had a lot of opinions about different things that had pop up in the sporting world, and we sort of found ourselves at certain points. We'd discuss it, and then be a couple of weeks later, same things that start popping up that getting discussed by the higher ups within these sporting codes.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was a stage there where I thought our phones were tapped by the NRL, but also we go through these discussions with these ideas, we friggin' drafts and Super Bowls and all this stuff for the NRL and that, and we discuss it between us. But I kind of want to find out what other people's opinion is on it. Like, tell me where I'm wrong. I'm not going to say that you're wrong either. I'm not. I'm just a bloke that's a fan of sports and different sports and that, and trying to learn it. I'm trying to learn NFL, and if I'm wrong on stuff, I'm happy to cop the criticism anyway. Thanks for joining us on the second episode of the Incoherent podcast. Hopefully, we see you next week. Thank you for joining Zach and I on this week's episode of the Incoherent podcast. We will be back next week with another episode talking about the week of sport and gaming. You can follow us at the Incoherent podcast on Facebook and Instagram. You can also get in touch with us via our email, theincoherentpodcast@outlook.com. Feel free to message us if you have anything for us to discuss in future episodes. Till next week, it's bye from us.